she was beautiful, powerful, and feared by the whole village. But the day she slapped an old woman in the village square, everything in her life changed forever.
Once upon a time, in a distant kingdom, there lived a princess named Ifunanya, a young woman whose beauty was known far and wide. Her skin gleamed like fresh palm oil under the sun, and her hair shimmered as it caught the light. Yet, for all her outward beauty, her heart was far from kind. Ifunanya looked down upon everyone in her kingdom. She mocked the villagers, ridiculed anyone who crossed her path, and carried herself with an arrogance that chilled the hearts of all who saw her. Whenever she passed through the village square, she would point, laugh, and sneer at the people's clothes, their homes, and even their very appearance. "How can you live like this?" she would taunt. "Look at you all, so poor, so miserable." No one dared speak back. They were frightened of the princess and feared her power. Every morning, the villagers awoke in dread of her footsteps. If she passed a mother nursing her child, she would scoff. "What an ugly little thing! It will surely grow up to be as useless as you." If she saw a farmer returning from the fields, drenched in sweat and dust, she would wave her perfumed cloth and say, "You smell of soil and hard labor. Why don't you hide from decent people?" Even the elderly were not spared. If an old woman greeted her respectfully, Princess Ifunanya would hiss, "You should be ashamed to still be alive looking like this." The villagers suffered in silence, too afraid to answer back. They knew that as the princess, Ifunanya could do as she pleased, and if they angered her, she could order them punished without mercy. The king and queen had warned her many times. "Ifunanya, you are our daughter, but this pride of yours will be your downfall. Never look down on anyone, no matter their status or appearance." But Princess Ifunanya refused to listen. She continued to walk with her head held high and her tongue sharp like a knife. One day, Princess Ifunanya decided to pass through the village square, where people gathered every morning to trade and share news. Women were pounding fufu, children were chasing one another, and the smell of firewood smoke filled the air. As the princess walked proudly through the square, her face twisted in disgust at the sight of the common people. Suddenly, an old woman named Mama Uche, struggling under a heavy bundle of firewood tied with rope, stumbled slightly. One of the sticks brushed against the leg of Princess Ifunanya. The old woman trembled with fear and quickly knelt. "I beg you, my princess, forgive me. The load is heavy and my strength is failing." But Ifunanya's pride knew no bounds. "Forgive you?" she snapped. "An ugly old woman like you dares to brush my royal body with filthy firewood? You are too ugly to even stand near me." Without a second thought, she raised her hand and slapped Mama Uche hard across the face. The village square held silent. The pounding stopped, the laughter died. Everyone watched, too afraid to speak. Mama Uche held her stinging cheek and said nothing. She feared the power of the royal family, but deep inside, her heart was broken. Fighting back tears, the old woman finally spoke. "You may shine on the outside, princess, but your heart is dark and cruel. May your body one day reveal the wickedness hidden within your soul." Princess Ifunanya paid no attention to the words. She walked away proudly, believing she had taught the old woman a lesson. That night, the king and queen noticed something strange. Ifunanya was quiet. She ate her food in silence, her usual proud boasting missing. When they asked what was wrong, she shrugged and changed the subject. She did not want them to know what had happened, remembering all the warnings they had given her. The next morning, Princess Ifunanya woke up feeling uncomfortable. Her skin felt rough and tight. When she looked into the mirror, she screamed in horror. Her once smooth and glowing skin had become wrinkled and cracked like dried earth. Her face, her hands, her arms, all looked like those of an old woman. She touched her face again and again, hoping it was a bad dream, but it was not. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she realized the truth. Mama Uche's words had taken effect. Princess Ifunanya locked herself inside her room, refusing to come out. She cried all day and refused to eat, afraid of what people would say if they saw her. Her pride had cost her the beauty she had always relied on. For the first time in her life, she felt the shame and pain she had always caused others. She hid from her parents for days, making excuses whenever her mother knocked on the door. Meanwhile, the village became unusually peaceful. The villagers were relieved that the princess had not come to insult or torment them. The king and queen grew worried. They sensed something was terribly wrong. After many days, the king commanded her to open the door. With trembling hands, Ifunanya obeyed. When the queen saw her daughter's face, she gasped and nearly collapsed in shock. Crying, Ifunanya confessed everything, how she had insulted and slapped an old woman in the village square. The king's face hardened with anger and disappointment. The queen, though heartbroken, knew her daughter had to face the consequences of her actions. The next morning, the king and queen led Ifunanya back to the village square to seek forgiveness. As they walked, villagers stopped and stared in disbelief. Children pointed and whispered. Some young girls whom Ifunanya had once mocked laughed at her, repeating the same cruel words she had used on them. Ifunanya's heart sank. She wished the ground would open and swallow her. Every step felt heavy as they reached the square. There, the king and queen stood before Mama Uche. The queen knelt and apologized with tears in her eyes. "We beg you, forgive our daughter for the pain she caused." Ifunanya stepped forward, her voice shaking. "I am sorry, not only to you, Mama, but to all of you. I treated you badly and hurt you deeply. Please forgive me." Seeing her humility, the villagers softened. Mama Uche looked at Ifunanya for a long moment, then nodded. "You have felt the pain you gave to others," she said. "Your heart is ready to change. I forgive you." With those words, the curse was lifted. The next morning, Princess Ifunanya awoke to find her skin smooth and glowing once again. She rushed to the mirror, tears of relief streaming down her face. But something had changed forever. Her heart was no longer proud. From that day on, Princess Ifunanya treated everyone with kindness and humility. She learned that true beauty does not live on the skin, but in the heart. And her people loved her, not for how she looked, but for the goodness that now shone from within her.